The other day at Queen Street Railway Station here in Glasgow, I noticed the turnstiles leading into the platforms were painted sea green. And in white letters were printed two words: try praying. I'd seen this campaign before, maybe you have too. It seems to be making a resurgence as things start to open up and people begin to travel again. Try praying is a way to encourage folk on a journey of faith. When you look it up online, you'll find a site with resources designed to aid folk looking for ways to pray. One of the principal tools offered is a booklet. It contains exercises for 7 days, something to read and think about, and something to do. And participants are asked to pray, specifically to pray by speaking to God. It is a laudable thing to speak to God. I would encourage everyone to do it. As the booklet available on the Try Praying website says, you can talk to God about anything. God is listening, and I believe God not only hears prayers, but answers them. Speaking to God is a way of interacting with and relating to the source of all life, and connects us with God's compassionate heart. However, there are other ways to pray that don't involve talking. Although being able to articulate something and enter into a conversation is one of the most excellent ways that humans have to communicate, it isn't the only way. Sometimes we can say something, connect with someone else, without using any words at all. That's what I'd like to explore today. A way of entering prayer without speaking. Using ancient time-honored methods, we can come into the presence of God. We can encounter the divine, and all we need to do is be. Folks sometimes refer to this type of praying as meditation, but that word has a lot of meaning, so it's probably a good idea to define what I'm talking about. The kind of meditation I'm inviting us to engage in is sometimes called mindfulness meditation. It has its roots in several traditions and is used by all kinds of people, both religious and non-religious. It's a practice of being present in the moment. To do this, we don't focus or reflect on something. We don't let our minds wander about God or contemplate things to do with God. In this style of meditation, we don't search. What is here is here. The Gospels record Jesus talking to his disciples about being alert. You never know when or where God will show up, he says, so keep watch. In a parable Jesus told, 10 bridesmaids discovered the importance of being ready. Even in his final days, Jesus asks his followers to stay awake, knowing the temptation for them, indeed all humankind, to lose focus. The spirit indeed is willing, but the flesh is weak. In mindfulness, we pay attention to what's happening. We become aware and cultivate alertness to this moment. Trusting in God, who is always present, we do not need to wait. God is here now. But we're constantly deviating from now. Without warning, we become gripped by something else, our projections and prejudices, passions and infatuations. And although there may be nothing wrong with them, these things become fixations. In meditation, we don't muse over our observations. We watch our mind without analyzing it. We don't hold thoughts. We let them go. So what will we think about? Well, as best as we're able, we won't aim to think. We will set our sights on being present. We observe our mind without entering into deliberations, neither holding a thought close nor pushing it away. There are tools to help us practice awareness, things that will mark the time of our mindfulness. For this meditation, we'll use our breathing. All animals respire. It is a sign of life, being alive on this planet at this hour. In this meditation, we'll breathe in and then pay attention as we breathe out. In and out, each time observing our exhalation. The breath is our reference point to being awake. Breathe in and breathe out. There it is, a moment of consciousness. To watch our breath, we will sit. We won't slouch or slump. Neither will we rest. Remember, this is a practice of being awake. Just because we're sitting down doesn't mean we're not alert. So here, where we are, we ground ourselves in our place, paying attention. As we sit, we keep our eyes open. We are awake, after all. In front of us, we'll find a spot between 1 and 2 meters directly ahead, whatever feels like you're not straining. We won't look at the floor, observing how much dirt there is or its pattern. Instead, our gaze is unlocked, focused, but not staring. From our chair, we remain alert. If we start to droop or hunch over, we reset our position, upright and wide awake. We watch our breath, each one a moment of mindfulness. If something should come into our thoughts, we notice it, relinquish it, and come back to the breath. It's that simple. Stay with your breath. And when you detect your mind wandering, unchain yourself from the thinking and return your attention to your breath. Many of you have done this before. Maybe there are other techniques you have or different ways of being mindful. What I'm describing here is perhaps the simplest way. But as with most things, I find returning to basics often refreshes. Hearing the principles of meditation never gets old. As we sit, our mind will want us to think, to follow trains of thoughts. Letting go might not feel a natural thing for us to do. When we sit still and try to be present in this moment, our minds will give us all kinds of things to brood over. It could be planning for dinner tonight, thinking about a friend having a rough time, or the most random thing we've not thought of in ages. The kinds of thoughts our mind will put before us will vary. That doesn't matter. Whether attractive or unattractive, it doesn't affect what we do. Instead, we notice, that's thinking. Set it free and come back to the breath. Our perspectives are just that, ours. It's impossible to say that our experiences don't color our opinions. What we articulate to be truth is laced with partialities and predispositions. I think knowing that might be the first step towards peace among peoples, to see things from another point of view, or at least sympathize with an experience that isn't manufactured by us. Empathy, or sympathy, is one thing we're cultivating when we meditate. We're not practicing inserting ourselves into every situation. Instead, we're connecting with the world without notions of what is best and what should happen. This is an attitude of non-judgment. It's said that humankind creates God in its image. In many ways, we're built for it. Author Riza Aslan describes the basic religious impulse as an evolutionary response to environmental stimuli. We use otherworldly to explain our experiences of it. We write stories that fit our perspectives. No matter what truths exist, we cannot help but categorize them in human-centered ways. When we pray, perhaps especially when we use words, we incorporate our human assessments. We talk to God about how we feel and what we long for. Supposing God sees things exactly as we do, we project our prayers toward an image created in our minds. Even if we're not sure we believe in God, Our belief is hemmed by our ability to conceptualize or conceive. And yet, God exists beyond these boundaries. This way of praying, meditating, involves noticing all this and changing our relationship to our presuppositions. In meditation, we seek to become more aware of how our mind functions. So we unplug from autopilot and slow down. This gives us the power to be more than just creatures of habit. It helps us be more aware of what's happening around us. And this kind of attitude helps us come into the presence of something larger than our imaginings. But the goal is not to perform some kind of scalpelless lobotomy. In meditating, we're not looking to become non-human. Thinking is natural. We are discerning creatures, wonderfully so as we regard human ingenuity and innovation. So, in this endeavor, we must guard against being hard on ourselves when our mind wanders. The compassion we're cultivating needs to be extended to us. Be gentle. Don't beat yourself up. When you observe your mind roams, say, oh well, there's my mind doing its thing. And then come back to the breath. Don't spend time trying to figure out why you thought what you thought or what it means. Just come back to the breath. In a moment, I'm going to invite a short meditation time, 5 minutes. I'll ring a bell to indicate the start of the time. Bells wake people up, draw our attention. Let the sound do that for you. We're not entering a trance. We're coming out of a haze of distractions. And we're not looking to inhabit another plane of existence. We're grounding ourselves here in this very one. Remember also that meditation is not emptying your mind. Instead, we're becoming aware of it. There's not much to remember in this practice, not a lot to hold together. Fortunately, you already know how to breathe. It's a skill you're an expert in. All you need to do is watch that breath. At each exhalation, notice what's happening. You've done it. You've meditated. Now the breath will enter your body. Do it again. Before we begin, I encourage you to do some light stretching. You'll be sitting down for a period, so loosening up your joints and muscles might make that more comfortable. Roll your neck, shrug your shoulders, twist your torso. Find what feels tight in your body and give it some attention. You'll need something to time this first meditation. I suggest using an app on your phone or computer. When the 5 minutes are up, slowly allow yourself to return to this video, lifting your eyes, noticing the room and how your body and mind feel. Take a moment now to observe how you're positioned and get ready to begin the meditation. Start by extending your spine, sitting upright. We're looking to feel balanced, supported, and stable. Place your hands on top of your thighs in a comfortable position. Breathe normally. Here's the remit again. Observe your breathing, and when you become aware that your mind is focusing on something else, let it go, and come back to the breath. After the bell rings, pause this video, perform your meditation, and then push play again. How did you find that? Was it difficult or easy? Did you notice your mind coming up with ideas, even though you weren't consciously directing it? What was it like trying to be present in the current moment? Now I invite you to do it again, for 10 minutes this time. The thing with meditation is that it bears fruit from repetition. You develop skills coming into that present moment again and again. There's no limit to the number of times you can return to it. Practicing gives you a connection to the experience, and the more times you've done it, the more it begins to transform your way of being. This meditation time will be a bit longer, but the same principles apply. Sitting up in your place, watch your breath. When your mind wanders, acknowledge it and let it go. Then bring your attention back to the breath. Sitting upright, open your eyes and find a spot on the floor in front of you. After I ring the bell, pause this video and start your timer. This time, 10 minutes. When you're finished, come back and push play. What was that like? Different from before? How did it feel to connect with your breath? Did you notice any particular sensations? Do you think you might try it again? One might wonder why I've chosen to record a video like this. Aren't others better positioned to demonstrate this meditation thing? The answer to that is yes, and if you'd like some recommendations on some books or other people to talk to, I'll be happy to point you in that direction. Someone might also wonder if it wouldn't be better to send folk to another religious tradition to learn this type of meditation. After all, doesn't what I'm talking about co-opt another religion's ideas? Well, while many religions have practices like this, there are specific reasons why Christians might want to engage in this kind of prayer. Firstly, I come back to where I began today, Queen Street Station. The upper level offers a good image. All these tracks converge into one station. Yet each comes from a different place. Each train carries different kinds of people with different experiences, reasons for coming to Glasgow, and different ideas about the journey. There cannot be merely one departure point, one direction of travel, or one way of getting to where you want to go. Similarly, there is no one type of prayer that's suitable for all the various circumstances of humanity. The type of prayer we've explored here offers a way to connect with God with certain advantages and opportunities. Perhaps one of those is the wakefulness to which Jesus calls his followers. "Awake, the voice is calling," begins the hymn. That's because at this time some of us find ourselves stuck, traveling along the same path without thinking about it. The musings of our past or imagining call us on a spiritual journey, and we set out on it, but get frustrated when we wind up in the same old place with the same old answers. Meditation can help us make new connections. It can aid in rewriting our thoughts. We make so many assumptions, our minds running unchecked. But what if this self-expression is limiting? What if our own emotions and sensations make it so that we never get to go to some places or see certain things? Through the practice of mindfulness, we become aware of how our mind works. It's too often worrying, fantasizing, dwelling on the past. So maybe that's why we need to disembark from this one-track mind and set out for an entirely new destination.